Hello, I am Redskins Fans Unite. Today is the 1st of January, 2017. It's about 8:10 p.m. right now from when I'm recording, Eastern Standard Time. About 40 minutes after the grand finale of the Washington Redskins 2016 NFL season. So, where do we begin here? So, let's see what happened here. Redskins lose 19-10 in another match where they were outcoached, outplayed the entire game. Performance, lack thereof, and lack thereof coaching. Or good coaching, consistent coaching. The things that we have done this season aren't a fluke. The things that we did last season weren't a fluke. I mean, Kirk Cousins, you can go on ahead and accomplish your franchise passing records. You can do that. That's fine. Nobody's going to stop you. You can do it. Go ahead. Just remember to win crucial games. Something that, well, still really hasn't been happening. And don't get me wrong, it's not Kirk Cousins. But then again, it's not like it isn't Kirk Cousins. Because Kirk Cousins, last time I checked, is a part of the team. And honestly, I got something to say about Kirk Cousins fans. Well, I'm not going to say Kirk Cousins fans, because that's not a good thing to say. Redskins fans, certain Redskins fans, like me, but other Redskins fans who, the second they hear some comment about Kirk Cousins that happens to be negative, they get defensive to the point where they overuse these stats and try to back up their argument that Kirk is a top 10 QB. And it's kind of funny to me how they think. I mean, and then they can use the argument for hearing me right now. They say, you were probably just an RG3 fan. You probably just got mad when he lost his starting job and I mean, RG3's gone. He's in Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland should have won today, but I mean, it wasn't RG3's fault, but then again, what's RG3 got to do with anything anymore? I shouldn't be even talking about him, because the second I bring up his name, 99% of the Skins fan base, well, not 99, it's a little too extreme, but half of the Skins fan base is going to be like, you aren't a true Redskins fan. You need to like Kirk Cousins better than RG3. And just one thing, just to make it clear, I'm not making this at all about RG3, because like I said, he's in Cleveland, he's an afterthought. I mean, I wish he wasn't, but then again, I can't do anything about it unless I, of course, turn on my PS4 over there and go and play some Madden 17 and do some ridiculously unrealistic trade and get Alfred Morris back and undo all the wrongdoings of the past 2 years. And that's really something that can only happen on there, because the way that we seem to be headed right now, this team seems to be still content with locking up Kirk Cousins to a long-term deal regardless of how much they have to pay him, even if that means they have to pay him more than any other player in NFL history. You hear that? Kirk Cousins. The man who threw the interception on the final drive of the fourth quarter of the game against the New York Giants about 45 minutes ago to seal our fate this season. Pay him higher than any other NFL player this season in NFL history. Let me get into Kirk Cousins real quick. Kirk Cousins. Things that he has improved on. His deep ball, he has improved greatly on. And honestly, I feel like his signature route is that cute little deep out route that he seems to throw ever so often to Deshaun Jackson. All those toe-tapping catches. And that's kind of the whole chemistry thing that has also changed with our passing offense. It's gotten better. But, still, Kirk Cousins he's still prone to mistakes, as he showed tonight. Had 2 interceptions. One, I don't know if it was entirely his fault. It was still a risky decision after getting a big play into Giants territory. Really, I don't know if it's about whether it's Kirk's fault or not. The coaching, regardless, is terrible. Jay Gruden, honestly, he couldn't be worse with his personnel groupings, which is honestly why I feel Bashaud Breeland has struggled mightily throughout the season up until last week when he had the 2-interception game. Kendall Fuller, throughout the first few games of his career, or throughout the middle of the season, Kendall Fuller was getting beat left and right. I was like, this guy is trash. Or is that completely the case? I don't know if it's completely the case. I mean, Kendall Fuller hasn't really shown any signs of greatness yet. He needs time. Jay Gruden said that before, but Jay Gruden didn't put him in the right position to succeed now, did he? Or is that Joe Barry? Or who is it? We gotta fire one of these guys. Assumably Joe Barry, that's more realistic because it doesn't look like they're firing Gruden anytime soon. Although I heard a report from my friend HTTR Nation on Instagram about a couple weeks ago actually, that the Redskins actually were going to plan on keeping Joe Barry as the defensive coordinator. And considering the performance we have had these past 2 weeks, I mean, it was the Bears, it was the Giants, their offenses aren't anything super special outside of Beckham and few guys on that Bears offense, like Jordan Howard, who's pretty talented, shown that. He's had a nice rookie season and all. But, really, Joe Barry, I mean, I don't really know what to say about him, because he'll get a bunch of forced fumbles and turnovers, but then again, he'll just be giving up easy pickings to the quarterbacks and making them look like superstars thrown against us. Except for last week, Matt Barkley, but that's Matt Barkley, you know? So, really, the reason why we lost this season is because, really, tonight, we lost in a way that it seems like that we've lost multiple times in. Almost every time we lose that way. Where the defense can give the offense opportunities, it doesn't work, and then the defense starts to lose focus. Actually, that was pretty much what happened in the first half. For the second half, the defense stood strong. The Giants couldn't get really much going against us, except for one deep play in the fourth quarter to DeForest King that set up the game-winning field goal. We get the ball back with just outside of 2 minutes, and we're at about 1 minute 30 seconds left. We got about 45. Yeah, just on the cusp of field goal range. Cousins throws the pick to DRC, his second of the game. And that's how the season ends. DRC returns into Redskin territory. Giants wind out the clock. And the final play of the game, I might just have to say that that's the play that showed that these coaches are ill-prepared and this team does not belong in a competitive division. Because, okay, Cousins drops back. Season on the line. This is important, guys. Season's on the line. With this final play, we need to go 95 yards. I don't know. I don't even know why I needed to do that. But 95 yards in one play with 6 seconds. No timeouts, no nothing. On this final play. Cousins throws it to Reed. Reed throws it back. It hits the ground. And that's not even the part that I'm talking about. It's my dog. The part that I'm talking about, it's returned for a touchdown. 19-10 is the final score. But the fact that we had an ineligible receiver downfield on a play that was designed to have ineligible receivers downfield. Like, offensive linemen are supposed to be getting the ball, throwing it backwards just to try and get extra yardage, just to try and do something. One lateral, and we're done. I mean, those plays don't work, but you see teams execute those and at least show some fight in them. The Browns gave up that much effort just to try and get a kick, too, when they blocked the kick at Cincinnati a couple weeks back, in week 13, I think. But we show one lateral. It's recovered by Trevin Wade. He runs it in for the touchdown. Flag is down for ineligible receiver downfield. That's just a shameful play right there. And that's not even the play that lost us the game. We have to think of that too. On a play that didn't even need to happen, we just made everything worse. And that's another part of why we have not yet to prove that we belong in a competitive division. Because last year, we showed everybody that we can win when everybody else has, 7 wins, 6 wins, 7 wins, 4 wins. It's just, we showed that, and that season wasn't a fluke. We did some great things last year. I'm quoting Jay Gruden when I say, we did some good things. He says that a lot, or at least he used to. I don't really watch his press conferences much anymore. I did more so in 2014. I haven't really watched many since. And yeah, so where to next? The running game. Yeah, we honestly, the running game has been what has really powered this franchise since the merger. Yet we abandon it now just because we have Kirk Cousins, Deshaun Jackson. You know, it's not really about having those guys. It's just the fact that those guys need to get the ball. Jamison Crowder, Vernon Davis. We got all these weapons. We got to use them. But, I mean, well, we have Fat Rob. He's okay. He gets 12 carries, 33 yards. No big deal. Honestly, you all know on Instagram, if you're watching this right now, I posted a thing a couple weeks ago saying free Matt Jones as a response to the loss of the Carolina Panthers. And really what that was the fact that, well, it's not really about Fat Rob, but the fact that Matt Jones fumbles, loses his second fumble of the season, drops his third. So 3 fumbles, 1's in the red zone. But you bench him for the entire season when he's clearly the best running back on the team. I mean, Fat Rob is fine. I still don't know who's better, Fat Rob or Matt Jones. I mean, all you Redskins fans are going to say Fat Rob because Fat Rob did some fumble. And I can definitely agree with that. That's definitely notable. So, sure, Fat Rob can be better than Matt Jones all he wants, but Fat Rob really hasn't been doing anything explosive in a long time. Since Green Bay, he hasn't had 100 yards, or he's gotten within 24 yards of 100. And that's just me saying that. And I mean, what else am I supposed to say? Am I not allowed to voice my opinion because I'm not allowed to talk trash on Fat Rob or Kirk Cousins or any of my players? I mean, in fact, I'm the only one allowed to make fun of my team because it's my team. I'm going to pull out that card. How about that? I'm allowed to make fun of my team. You aren't. I don't even know if that makes any sense. But you get the point, because, well, I can make fun of my team. They're my team. Doesn't mean that they're not my team because I made fun of them. Oh no, I ripped on them. They're not my team anymore. I don't like this player, which means I'm not a fan of the team. I root for another team because for some reason, not against us, but like in other games, because of course I have second and third favorite teams. My second favorite team is the Niners, just because they've always been my second favorite team. But that's just a side note. There's really no need to talk about that. And And besides, I'm willing to trash talk them to the point where I call them Les Miserables. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I call the Niners. They're 2-14 to end the season. So, that's all I have to say about them. And the Redskins, well, they're out of the playoffs. As I already mentioned, I'm pretty sure there's just same thing happens. No running game. That's one thing. All we have is the short little dump-off passes and the cute little out routes going for us, because Kirk Cousins, like in Week 2 against Dallas, was overthrowing deep balls that could have been touchdowns. He had a couple toe-tapping catches to Vernon Davis. He had a nice throw to Pierre Garçon. But that was the play before the first interception. I mean, he led us to about midfield, but that led to the game-ending interception. And this all ties into, and as many times as I think I've repeated myself, I'm just going to say it right now, this all ties into the coaching. And the coaching all ties into the lack of performance. And to know that it's a team loss, just blame it. Just one thing that people need to be willing to do is blame everybody, even the players that they absolutely adore. And sometimes I have to be willing to do that. And here I'm willing to blame everybody, but the another thing is that there's certain people that might deserve less blame than others or more blame than others. Like for this game, is it wrong to say that Kirk Cousins deserves the bulk of the blame? I don't think so. That's just me. Just leave your comment below if you're ticked off right now in my opinion. It's definitely not wrong to say the coaching because, well, almost everybody can agree about the coaching. That's been an issue all year. That's why we've lost many of the games that we have lost. That the personnel groupings on defense have cost us. That we've really haven't. It's like they said about Preston Smith over and over again. He's hit or miss. I mean, he was held when he could have gotten a sack tonight. He's had 4.5 sacks on the season, an interception. I mean, he's been up and down. Trent Murphy had a good start to the season. He's fallen off since. Ryan Kerrigan, of course, when he has a chance to explode, he gets injured. I don't really know. There's just there's at least something that everybody could have done better. Trent Williams could have stayed on the field and not gotten suspended. Missed a test, but come on, man, you got to show leadership. And missing a test, I don't think that's very good leadership. I love you as a player. Let's get that straight. But, at the same time, I got to be willing to point you out where you make your mistake. Because, well, you made it. Mistakes can be made. It's okay. Just fix them. And don't let them happen again and again to the point where your season is over. And now that the season's over, really, there's nothing more that can be said. We've talked pretty much like the Cowboys did last year. Like, no, I'm not like dogs. So my point is that remember when Dez was saying how they still ran the East last year when they finished 4-12? It's kind of like Chris Baker declaring that back in the start of the season, when in Week 6, when we had beaten the Eagles, how you all know who the champs are, something like that. Stephen A. Smith, amen to you, man. I honestly, most of football-related opinions, I couldn't agree with that guy more on. Even about my own team. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, it's his job to talk about us, and you know what? He says the words perfectly. Let me quote Stephen A. Smith, or attempt to. And he quoted my thoughts exactly when he said that the second that we, the Redskins, are taken seriously, the second that we have caught the eyes of any other team around the NFL, we don't do anything to keep their eye, or to keep that level of seriousness that people perceive us as. It's hard to word, but the point is, whenever we're taken seriously, we don't do anything to keep being taken seriously. You understand. All decent Redskins fans should understand that the second we're taken seriously, we fall flat on our faces, the coaching crumbles, the players don't perform, the team ultimately loses in the end, and that is why we ultimately do not belong in a division with competitive teams, such as the Cowboys, the number 1 seed in the NFC, and the New York Giants, the number 5 seed. We could have been the number 6 seed if we had just beaten them. They had lost to the 7 and 9 Philadelphia Eagles, and we still couldn't beat the Giants at home in front of all of our fans, and that is really what it all comes down to. So, I'm going to try and get on Instagram while I'm still on break. I've been pretty lazy all this break, really. I've been a little sick and all. It was a good season, but it really wasn't, as HTTR Nation on Instagram said. Y'all can all go follow him as well as any other Redskins page that you currently are not following. They leave plenty of follow me comments on the Redskins page and all that. So, you can go do that on your own time. I'll try to post a quick recap of every game that I missed, and that'll probably come tomorrow, maybe start tonight, who knows. So, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for sticking with the Redskins this season, regardless of the schmidt that they have given y'all. But we are going to have to, if we move on from Fat Rob, looks like we might be looking at getting Dalvin Cook in the draft, and that actually doesn't seem like a bad pick. I need to watch more college highlights if I want to. So then again, other Redskin fan pages have information on this because I don't really watch college at all. I'm just an NFL guy. But anyways, just leave your comments down below on what your thoughts are of this season. Or if you want to start a debate topic, just do whatever you want. Hail to you all. HTTR. Hail to the Redskins. Peace.